my game away. Blow up. We playing for something, man. We playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these 2 words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
free smoke.
Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Poor tackling.
What happened between you and Talib on the field early in the game?
I don't know, you gonna ask him, cause he done finished the game. Ice up, son, ice up.
Welcome back. Or listen. Or just welcome for the first time. I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I am Saint. I appreciate you for being here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be. I didn't know what I was going to say right there. I didn't know if I was going to say decided or chose, and decided was about to come out, but chose ended up coming out instead. It was like, I was like, chose, like it kind of wrong. I just want y'all to know I cleaned that shit up real clean. Anyways, I appreciate you for being here with me on the show tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Week 7 in the NFL recap. We had a couple games, but I'm here to let you know right now. We got a big Ravens show, big Lamar Jackson show. We're going to talk about the Packers a lot tonight. Got some things to say about the Packers. I'm currently watching the Monday Night Football game as I record the show. So clearly that will not be talked about in this episode. But we got a lot to talk about. New England upsetting Buffalo. We have a lot to talk about. But you know where I want to start. Let's talk about them Ravens. So a couple weeks ago, I made a video talking about the Ravens. It was after we lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I went on a bit of a rampage or a rant, talking about all the problems with Baltimore. And, you know, after I released that video, I felt kind of like, I probably went a little too hard on John Harbaugh, because I don't think he a bad head coach. I just think it's fair to say that he a great head coach, but it's also, in my opinion, fair to say these new head coaches that are offensive gurus that legitimately add something to the offense are out coaching him in certain aspects of the game that make it easier for their offenses to be great. But when I had got done recording, the only thing that bothered me a little was alluding to John Harbaugh as not being a great head coach, because I kind of was in the moment right there, being a fan, if you will. But before I even really get into the Ravens, let me talk about Detroit. Detroit always want people to talk about them. I know y'all don't want people talking about y'all this week. I saw Detroit fans on Twitter going nuts, man. And it's real odd to me that Detroit, this specific Detroit fan, his thing was he was using, like he was chewing bubble gum and drinking a beer. And he said, you know, Raven fans, I don't have time to respond while recording a minute-long video. While his team getting their asses beat. I don't even know if his team had put up 6 points at this point in the game yet. And his thing was, and I don't care when people respond when they team getting their ass, but let's respond intelligently. Instead of responding intelligently, his response was a fan response. A fan that clearly just watched a lot of TV shows where a lot of the same thing is regurgitated, which I'm going to get to later on in the video. But his response was, you know, tell me when your quarterback win in the playoffs or when your quarterback do something. Bro, while that is a tired argument, you are a Lions fan, my guy. Like if a Chief fan said that to me, my problem would still be the same. That's wild that we're just blaming Lamar. But nonetheless, the Chiefs can do that. Hell, I might even let Patriot fans do that. But a Lion, bro, your franchise's best quarterback, Matt Stafford, held you back from going to the playoffs. Like, he played a role in you not never making the playoffs or not ever being good for a long time. I think he made the playoffs like 3 times, never won a playoff game. He immediately won a Super Bowl when he left your team. Your 2 best players, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, retired early because of they wanted to protect their body against playing for a trash can ass organization and team that gave them no opportunity to win, would not trade them to a better organization to win. So they decided, I'll retire early. You then make Calvin Johnson pay back his contract, a portion of that contract. Like, what are we talking about right now? And that's before we even get into the fact that when is the last time the Lions made the playoffs? When has the Lions ever won a Super Bowl? The Lions know the answer to these questions. So what are we doing, bro? And it's real funny that people like to try to dig in the past to bring up arguments rather than argue things right now. And for certain things, it's understood. But for a Lions fan, bro, you should have just used your current season success trying to throw a playoff shot at a Ravens team that's won a more recent Super Bowl and Lamar has won a more recent playoff game than the Lions have made the playoffs. What are we doing? The man said, talk to me when your quarterback do something for your team or do something for your win for your team. Bro, talk to me when your franchise does something for your franchise, bro. Like, Lions fans, you're very confusing. However, I would like to say, and I'm not a big I told you so type of dude, but I did tell you that y'all was about to lose this game. And I've been telling you that for a couple weeks now. It was about 2-3 weeks ago, I said, you're about to find out how good the Lions really are when they play Baltimore. I clearly was telling you, y'all not beating Baltimore. Now, I didn't want to just come out and say I didn't think the Lions, well, even though I have been saying that. It's a reason when I talk about the top teams in the NFC, I don't accidentally forget the Lions. I never put the Lions in there with the Eagles, the Cowboys, or the 49ers. Because I don't think the Lions are that great compared to those teams. For one, they do not have the talent that those 3 teams have. I don't care how you feel about the Cowboys. If those 3 teams played the Lions, I am confident all 3 of those teams will smack Detroit. And even if they were close games, I am confident all 3 of those teams would beat Detroit this year. Detroit is a good team. They are not the team that people kept saying. I told you for the last couple of weeks, I don't think that they Super Bowl contenders. I've been very adamant about telling you I do not think Detroit is a Super Bowl contending team. I watched Detroit, which is why I felt the way I felt. But I understand that people going to be riding along with the train, and I didn't want it to seem like I was hating on Detroit, which is why I told you a couple weeks ago, I'm waiting for this game. Because I saw Detroit's roster. I saw their schedule. And while I would never tell you, hate on a team because the soft team, you got to play who you play. I'm not going to not use that or understand who you done played when I'm breaking down teams. And the fact of the matter is, you beat the Chiefs the first game of the season without their best pass catcher. And then the other teams you beat, to me, haven't really been top tier dominant teams at they peak, who I consider. You haven't beat the Eagles, you haven't beat the Cowboys, you haven't beat the 49ers. Then the 3 teams, and you haven't played them. So I don't hold that against you. But I look at how you done beat these other teams. I don't feel as though I've seen a team that could go toe-to-toe with those other 3 teams. That's why I kept saying we'll see when they get to this week against the Ravens. Because while the Ravens done had their struggles and whatnot, they have a quarterback in Lamar Jackson that is an actual franchise quarterback. Not a franchise quarterback because you just you have to have a stopgap for a long time. No, that is an actual talented dude that is a high tide that can lift all boats. That is not Jared Goff, which I've been telling y'all that for a while. But you see, the thing about the media is, anytime a white quarterback have any type of semblance of success, they're going to overhype him rather than just calling the game from what they see on the tape. And that's fine. It happens all the time. What you as a fan have to do is be able to go find the person that actually talk about this shit the way it's supposed to be talked about. I'm not shitting on Jared Goff. Would never do that. I have no problem with Jared Goff, but I've been watching Jared Goff for a while now. I know what I've seen on the film. He's not going to become a completely different quarterback in 2 years with a less talented head coach than what he was with the Rams. That's my first problem. My second thing is, if you watch these games, it is a certain way that Jared Goff and this offense have to play for him to be successful. And even then, a great defense can easily interrupt that. I don't know how great the Ravens defense. I know what the numbers say and all that. I know the teams that they done beat. But I still don't know how great their defense is yet. I need more time to figure it out. But they have been great to start the season. And because they have been great enough to start the season, I knew they'd be a problem for Detroit. Because I've watched Detroit. And Detroit is a good team. But they are not one of those teams that can go into Baltimore and handle the... I don't think they could have beat Baltimore if Baltimore went to them. It's the reason they keep losing to the Ravens. They didn't. To me, the Lions are not built to beat the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Ravens, the Bills. And right now, we'll get to the Bills in a minute, but the Bills at their best, the Bengals at their best. Because you're asking Jared Goff. You asking 2 things. You're asking Jared Goff to play a perfect game, because the chances of him outplaying the other quarterback without having a damn near perfect game is highly unlikely. So you asking for that to happen. You are also asking for him, not him, but you're asking for the offensive coordinator or coach to call a perfect game that will throw off the other team's defense and consistently either have the other team off the field or the other team's quarterback consistently having to score to keep up with the Lions. You can't have both of those happen every game. Sometimes you're just going to have your quarterback step up and be able to make the big plays off script when they have to. And sometimes you need that to happen more 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row. That's just how the NFL works. If you watch the Lions, I'm not taking nothing away from the Lions. One of the reasons I was talking about the defenses a couple weeks ago is because I had ran into a game where it was 2 teams that had defenses that on paper and on tape looked bad and looked good based off of who they was playing. And that's what made me realize these defenses haven't been... You are good based off of who you play. That's just how it seemed to be right now. That's why I say defense don't win championships. Defense in spots wins championships. And it's not a crazy thing to see, in my opinion, that you see so many defense have week-to-week type of performances. And I'm not talking about a defense like the Buffalo Bills who are missing multiple pieces. I'm talking about defenses that is, for the most part, healthy. And they might look great this week because the offensive team they playing against is challenged. And they might look like shit the next week because the team that the offense they playing is not challenged. So, to me, when I had watched Detroit, I didn't see a bad defense, but I also did not see the Cowboys defense, the 49ers defense, a defense that could get after it against no matter who they play. I didn't see that in Detroit. So that's one of the biggest reasons I kept telling people and saying on the show, just wait till that game come around, because I wasn't seeing what everybody else was seeing in Detroit. I just think it's real easy to hop on some of these bandwagons or these feel-good stories and over-talk them, over-hype them. But if you really had sat down and was watching these Detroit games from an unbiased perspective, now I'm not going to tell you that I saw a 38-6 game, but I did see a blowout happening. I literally told you Lamar Jackson plays great against the white quarterbacks that everybody say is better than him. Before Sunday, I watched multiple shows where multiple analysts said that they trusted Jared Goff more than Lamar Jackson. That question in itself is ignorant, but the answers were more ignorant but expected. Because Jared Goff had been playing decent or great to people in the last couple weeks, we were going to always take that over what we knew Jared Goff to be, or those analysts, because that's what they do all the time. They're going to ride the hot penis. So that led to not only everybody picking against the Ravens, but everybody picking Jared Goff. Joy didn't do it. And of course, Lamar Jackson came out here and balled out, just like the week everybody picked the Bengals to beat him. It's just what he do, bro. Over his career, and plus he like 17-1 against the NFC. So it's just certain games. And plus, if you watch the Ravens, which I'm almost certain a lot of analysts don't do, regardless of what my questions about the defense are, the Ravens' problem has been the receivers dropping passes. And obviously they beat themselves with the turnovers. But if you look at the Ravens play, who has beaten them other than themselves? That was my problem with so many of these analysts. And so then you get these analysts who get on TV and they loud about being wrong. They loud and wrong. And then when people call them out on it, they want to be loud and fierce about defending themselves being wrong. Shannon Sharpe is a phenomenal analyst. We don't hate Shannon Sharpe on this channel. But if I don't hold everybody accountable like I do to people that I don't like in the media, like Acho, then there's no validity to shit that I'm saying. Shannon Sharpe is one of the most inconsistent, inaccurate, ignorant critics of Lamar Jackson, bro. To now say, for one, you and Stephen A were literally asking questions of, is he giving the Ravens their money? Is the Ravens getting their money's worth out of Lamar Jackson? You've yet to see that about any of the white quarterbacks that got paid. Have not seen that about one of them. They have not won a Super Bowl in Buffalo since Allen got paid. They have not. We see what's happened with the other two white quarterbacks in LA and Burrow since they got paid. I haven't seen that question be asked about them. Baker Mayfield was the first pick in the draft. I didn't see nobody ever have any type of real expectations for him. So, but then you hop on TV when people call you out for that. Shout out to Kimberly A. Martin. But you get offended by that. And now Shannon's thing is Stephen A. just acting like he never took part in that conversation. Respect to him. Deny. But for Shannon to be so bold and fierce and even more ignorant about, we have to hold, y'all think I come up here and y'all want me to defend him when he play? No, bro, we just want you to watch the games, bro. Because see, what you seem to do every time you critique the Ravens is you critique Lamar. Nobody else exists on that team unless you heaping praise on people. But as soon as the game is lost, it's immediately to you on Lamar Jackson, which is very funny to me because when I see him, he watches Kansas City Chiefs game. I know that for a fact. He watches full Kansas City Chiefs game. So when he break down the Chiefs, he can tell you all the different things that happen in the game that caused this and that to happen. He'll never just say it's on Pat Mahomes unless Pat Mahomes actually have a bad game because he watched those games. So he can break down the entirety of the game. To say you watching these full Lamar Jackson games and every single time they lose, to you it's on Lamar, that's wild, bro. And for you to yell even louder telling us that you watch, bro, that don't do nothing for me, bro. I understand there's some fans out there that back down when somebody with a lot of muscles get loud. Gee, that's not me. I don't give a flying fuck about none of that. I watch the games every Sunday. I know what I see. And I don't care that you played the game. It is a respect that I have because you played the game, obviously. But I know what I'm seeing. And I also know what I've seen watching you on a consistent basis talk about Lamar. I was watching Shannon talk about Lamar when it was him, Primetime, and LaDainian Thomas in after games. Like, so this ain't just me hopping on Shannon. I've been watching him talk about Lamar for a long time. And it's very funny to me that now you use this thing of he don't want a unanimous MVP, so we hold him to a new standard. It's funny that you say that Because every time they bring up the top quarterbacks in the NFL, you never say Lamar. Run the tapes of him going down the list. It's always Pat Mahomes. It's always Burrow. It's always Allen. It's always Herbert. It's never Lamar until somebody from a distance throw out Lamar Jackson. The goal, the post. It's crazy how it's moving like this. I don't get it. But, you know, Shannon gonna yell and tell y'all that we wrong and that we looking at it from the wrong perspective, and this is what he was talking about, and we want him to do this when Lamar played back. No, bruh. We just want you to watch the games and stop being so critical of Lamar when there's other people on this team that get paid to do a job that they're not doing all the time. As simple as that. And the thing that's crazy to me is how they get so offended about these wrong takes. Like, bro, y'all get so happy when y'all can go up there and tell us why Lamar played bad and why it's on him and all this, which you never do for the white quarterbacks. But as soon as there's fans out there that go to bat for Lamar, now the fans the problem. I never heard y'all go at the Raven fans who defended this organization for being cheap and not paying players, for having years of missing big pieces not on this team that should have been on this team that would have helped them. I never saw you go at the players that was defending the organization, but you go at the players that's defending Lamar because they watch the games and they know what they see. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I really want Joe Burrow to have a game where his receivers drop 8 catches, 3 touchdowns. Because that will be the only thing that's talked about. Speaking about giving excuses also to these white knight quarterbacks. And I want y'all to understand, if you watch the show, you already know I don't hate these quarterbacks. But this is exactly what's going on in the media. We're going to keep acting like it ain't happening. Because speaking of the white knights, you got Justin Herbert, who lost again. And I'm going to run through the scores in a minute, but you got Justin Herbert and them Chargers who lost once again. Now, I picked them to beat to beat Kansas City, because I'm like, bro, they done lost a couple games. They need to win this game. They understand the playoff race is stiff in the AFC. They need to win this game. Well, I would be wrong, because you see, not only did they lose the game, they got throttled in this game. And quickly, the excuse tour for Justin Herbert. I mean, that thing just keep rolling along, man. Catch him in a city near you, bro. I mean, Colin Cowherd couldn't wait to get to his computer and make up some type of fucking excuses for Justin Herbert as to why he came up short once again this week with another fourth quarter interception this week. I mean, it's crazy. They work so hard to tell you why Lamar Jackson is not good, even though everything tell you he is. And work so hard to tell you Justin Herbert is better than the tape he continuously put out there. All because the first couple quarters, he throw for a lot of fucking yards. Amazing. This should be a problem that you have with the media, not just me. It should be a problem you have. You should be wanting these dudes to be graded on the same playing field. I get if you say, not Mahomes, he got 2 rings. That's fair. Last time I checked, Herbert didn't have a ring, but they've already placed him in the Hall of Fame. Now I'm hearing it's the defense's fault. Where was Herbert when the defense played great the last couple of weeks and gave him a chance to win? Where was the defense then? I mean, where was Herbert then? This is the problem I'm having. I just told you that sometimes things don't go right. You need a great quarterback to be the rising tide. How is that never the thing for Herbert? Everything have to go perfect for Herbert for people to be satisfied. At least the critics on TV. Because Herbert can do no wrong. Herbert done had bad games. He have bad plays. He have things that happen in games that it's like, yo, this cannot happen on your watch if you supposed to be this guy. Yet he is never called out for it. He's never critiqued for it. Every time somebody talk about Justin Herbert is because his coach is letting him down. The Chargers are letting him down. This is Phillip Rivers all over again. Were the Chargers letting Phillip Rivers down with all the talent they surrounded him with? But now, yeah, of course, they let him. I done seen Lamar Jackson achieve far more than Justin Herbert with far less talent. But sure, the Chargers are letting Justin Herbert down. That's why my question is always, at what point in time is anything going to be put on Justin Herbert? Because You know, I talk about how they defend Joe Burrow. I've seen at least one or two analysts actually be critical of Joe Burrow. I don't know an analyst out there. You know what? I take that back. Emmanuel Acho, for as many garbage ass takes as he has, for some reason he don't like Justin Herbert. But his takes, as good as they are, sometimes he get into this lane of being. Plus, it's hard to take his takes serious when he a dude that still go to bat for Baker Mayfield. However, bruh, from the majority of me, I don't know if it's anybody out there that's critical of Justin Herbert, bro. If it is, I'm missing it. Or it's not hitting home the way it sound when you're critiquing Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott. Like, I saw Kyler Murray have a great season, have a bad playoff game, and get butchered. I saw Justin Herbert have a decent year last year, had a lot of great stat numbers, but decent year, losing the playoffs into a bad fashion, just like Kyler Murray. Still a top 5 quarterback the next year. Didn't hear nobody really talk about it. But now you could keep acting like this don't happen. We keep acting like this ain't a thing that go on a normal basis, but it is. Which is why I don't entertain the people who always say, why you gotta bring race into it? Why are they the ones allowing race play into what they say and do? Why is it happening so frequently that they don't even realize it's happening so frequent? You need to ask these questions to them, not the person that's bringing it to the forefront. That's the thing. You always mad at the messenger, but not the motherfucker who wrote the message. It's crazy. It never makes sense to me. However, with that being said, what's the excuse now? Because I know it's always going to be the coordinator, the defense, the line, the receivers. What is it now? Because it seemed to me that Justin Herbert is the only quarterback, even above all the other white knights, he is the only one that absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, has to do nothing. Like, he is held to no standard, bro. None. Every time he loses, it's an excuse. It's never on Justin Herbert. It's never he got to go get it done. They still bring up the fact that every time Lamar Jackson win a game, it's, he can't do it in the playoffs. What is the playoff win that Justin Herbert got that I'm not remembering? But let him have a good game next week. And then it'll be, they should have took him over Tua. But Tua struggled last night. They'll be butchering him while they still make excuses for Justin Herbert. But I was saying, you just making this race up. You race baiting. Bro, at this point, just go eat a dick. All right? James Jones can also go eat a dick. Emmanuel Acho should still be, I had to watch what I was going to say. Emmanuel Acho should still be eating on a dick right now. And you know who else can go eat on a dick? Ryan Clark. All y'all boys who said you trusted Jared Goff more than you trust. And you want to know what really pissed me off about what Ryan Clark said? Not only did he say he trusted Jared Goff more than Lamar, he then began to rattle down names of quarterbacks in the AFC who have also had down seasons and have not played better than Lamar. He rattled those names down and said he'd take them and trust them over Goff. But Lamar was the exception. Do you know how fucking ignorant that is? Even a black analyst is so ignorant to this shit. Have we seen how Joe Burrow played this year? Because if you telling me that we going off of this year, why would you take Joe Burrow over Jared Goff? Why would you take Josh Allen over Jared Goff if that's the standard? It's this year. But that's not what you're doing. You're going off of that history. So for Ryan Clark to sit on TV, rattle down those names in the AFC quarterbacks he'd take over Jared Goff, but then say you take Jared Goff over Lamar Jackson. This is who get paid to talk sports, bro. They get paid a lot of good fucking money to talk sport and cannot separate the emotion and it's not even the emotion. They can't separate the frequency bias to give you accurate information or to form accurate topics. Ryan Clark don't walk away looking like a dipshit from that take if he had just sat there and thought to himself, why is Lamar having a year that he having right now? Could it be because these receivers don't catch the passes they supposed to be catching? Could it be because they still adjusting to a new offense? In past years, would I take Jared Goff over Lamar Jackson? Is Jared Goff playing at a level right now that would make me randomly take him over a quarterback that I've always would take? Because you wouldn't do that to Tom Brady. You wouldn't do that to Burrow, Josh Allen. Obviously, you wouldn't do it to Pat Mahomes. He's the number one quarterback in the NFL. But you take Jared Goff over Lamar? Do you know how insulting it is to hear people constantly? Because when I hear somebody, Ryan Clark, say something like that, the thing that irritates me the most is, so nothing I do on the field will ever matter. It will always, the goalposts will always be moved for Lamar Jackson, basically, is what you're saying. And every frequent thing that Jared Goff do or some other quarterback do that might be counter to what they've always done, that will be lifted up as it's happening. But for Lamar, the goalposts will always be moved. Like Shannon said, he won unanimous MVP. So we talk about him different. But that standard will be set, but we'll never put him in there with top quarterbacks. It was not too long ago when Lamar wasn't even in the top 10 quarterbacks. That was a season ago. But these the people that's talking sports to you. These the people that make a great living talking sports to you. That's why we on a mission. We got to build this thing up so we can be the counter to that nonsense. It's not going to just be me. It's going to be a lot of great sports analysts over here on this channel. And there's a lot of big dreams I got. But we got to, because this is nonsense. Kimberly Martin was built to be over here with us, bro. Building this shit up with us, bro. She was, that type of energy was built, bro. She's sick of it. As am I. But she ain't giving them what I'm giving them. She right there. I wish I could just speak through her, bro. Because this is nonsense. Rex Ryan got on TV. He said, I mean, what would his stats be if the receivers caught the ball? Shannon Sharp don't give two fucks about that. And they let Shannon talk the circles around the basic thing we asking. And nobody ever. Molly do all that butting in and giving her 2 cents. But she don't ever get a 2 cent that matter in this situation, huh? Interesting. But we Lamar apologists and things of that nature. So what is the people who continue to defend Justin Herbert? What? Because I don't even think he is at a 500 rating no more in his career. But of course, wins is not a quarterback stat. Only when they win is it the quarterback stat, right? Because the playoffs seem to be a win only on Lamar's record. No other Baltimore Raven does that matter. It's like when they get there, it's only Lamar. But for Herbert, I'm trying to figure it out. But like I said, the most disgusting thing I heard in the media this week was easily that shit that Ryan Clark had said, last week. Like, that shit was so disgusting to me, bro. Because I sat and I thought about what he was saying. I'm like, are you serious? Like, so you want Burrow. You want all the white dudes. Of course you want Mahomes. You taking them over Goff. But because Lamar had some dudes drop some catches the last couple of weeks, all of a sudden, you taking Goff. Like, that's just crazy to me. This Jared Goff is not in his third year where we still trying to figure out what he is. But these are dudes who get paid the big bread, man. These are dudes that get paid the big bread. Atlanta walked off with another field goal to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker 16-13. Baker midfield looking real mid again, eh? Hey, I saw a dude tweet about Deshaun Watson and the Browns. And he tweeted this as the Browns was losing. So obviously the tweet ended up being bad. Even though Deshaun Watson did leave that game early because of a concussion. But they said he was all right. They just held him out. I think it was a shoulder or something like that. But anyways, somebody had tweeted something about Deshaun Watson and how Baker basically was better. So it was stupid. And I tweeted to him, okay, so this is a tweet about how you don't like Deshaun Watson because it's no way you watching Baker midfield. I watch Baker still. Baker Mayfield is not any better than he was when he was in Cleveland. I mean, sure, to be fair, at the beginning of the season, he was hitting a lot of the passes that he just consistently misses. But that ain't making him wait. Like, bro, if you gave me an option right now between Deshaun and Baker, I'm still taking Deshaun, bro. Baker Mayfield has still been Baker Midfield. Like that tweet was very confusing, but it's just a prime example of when a white man and how easy he can flip a narrative by just throwing in the transgressions of a black man, because it's so easy to do that in this world. So you shine a light on Baker Midfield by shitting on Deshaun Watson, when really you could have just shitted on Deshaun Watson and still, or just not spoken of Baker Midfield, or just has still been honest about Baker Midfield, because the Tampa Bucks, Tampa's record is not indicative of how good Baker has been playing, for one, even though Baker to me has been playing decent. 2, Tampa's division is garbage. 3, the Browns don't even have a bad record. So I don't understand. He could have just spoke on why he hates Deshaun Watson. And I think it's very funny to me that 2-3 years after the Deshaun Watson thing, I'm not telling you to feel how any type of way. You can feel however the fuck you want to feel. I'm just shocked at how open people still feel about Deshaun like they do about Vic, and how very easy it was for Big Ben to progress through his career with the allegations he had against him. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very interesting, some of the allegations that the white players had that was still able to continue to have a great career and not have to worry about that being brought up on Twitter or anything else all the time, like Deshaun Watson. And this ain't me telling you, oh, you don't got the right to talk about Deshaun and yada yada. I'm just saying it's very interesting to me that Big Ben was a legend in y'all minds up until he retired, and y'all swept his transgressions under the rug. But every time Deshaun Watson play bad, the massage cases. This guy is a bad quarterback now. You fueled by his past transgressions, but that never happened when Big Ben was throwing 4 interception games out there. The back end of his career was god awful. I didn't see them rape allegations being brought up constantly. Now, Twitter did erupt the night that man retired. Big rape was trending. So they did give it to him on his last day. But I didn't see that happening throughout the. And then this thing where people want to keep holding the Cleveland Browns fans accountable. They don't pay this man's contract. They don't sign him. I say it all the time. Like, fans think they pay these dudes bills because they buy a jersey. You're just foolish when you think that. I actually believe people who sit at home and watch them on TV do more for their contracts than the people who actually going out there buying. Unless you buying merch from them specifically from a store that they own, bruh, whoop-de-fucking-do, you bought a jersey. Buy 30 more of them bitches. Either way, this Deshaun Watson hate. If we can't seem to separate that, and some people will say, well, he did it, so you can't separate it. But you literally have done it with other players in the past. So at some point in time, we're going to have to let this man play football. He done paid his price to what the law gave him, to what the NFL gave him. You are not jury, judge, and executioner, bro. Let that man go out there and play football and judge him based off of the product he is putting on the field. Not your fucking emotions that you have based off of things that happened in the past that truly you don't even know about. You just guessing on the case like everybody else. And again, not defending Deshaun Watson. I haven't even it's the reason I haven't went into depth about the things he did, because I don't give a damn. That's not what I'm here to talk about. That man is on a football field. I'm there to talk about what he do on the football field. That's why I get real irritated when I constantly hear announcers bring up what a player did in the past or something he got going on off the field. You can talk about that after the game is over. While he is on the field, why put that type of negative energy on him on the especially in national spotlight games? Yeah, I'm not with it. But Detroit, like we just talked about, they were in Baltimore. They get smacked around 6:38. Vegas was in Chicago, a game of 2 backups. Chicago ended up winning 30-12 with Chicago's backup playing a decent little game there. Still very much shocked that the Raiders have not decided to trade Devontae Adams and Max Crosby. And somebody told me yesterday, they call me by my real name, but they, Saint, it's not possible for them to just trade away player, bro. It's not that easy. They gotta have to have a buyer. Yes, it is. They can find a buyer for both of those players. Period. These are not average players, ladies and gentlemen. Devontae Adams and Max Crosby are studs. Devontae Adams is the one that would draw you less because of his age. Max Crosby is a premium pass rusher in his prime. I don't even know if you could say he is truly in his prime yet or if he peaked into his prime. Because much like Aaron Donald, he has no talent on that other side of the defense with him. Could you imagine if him and Aaron Donald played on the same line? Or if Max Crosby played on the line with another stud like Aaron Donald playing on the line with another stud? I don't understand why they don't trade him. Why they haven't traded him. Why risk him getting hurt? Why risk him? I don't think his game gonna decline. That would have to happen over the next couple years for him to just lose all his value. But right now, Max Crosby's value is at I would have traded Max after the game-sealing sack last week. They didn't do it. You come out here, you lose this game, and you continue to have games in where Max can go out there and have 5 games, and it probably wouldn't matter, depending on how they decide to play that week. So why continue? This is my problem when I say organizations waste a lot of great players' careers. Max Crosby should not be on the Raiders right now. The Raiders should be using him as an asset to make their team better in the future because it's a lot of holes on this Raiders team. They got as many holes on their team as the Giants, if not more. Yet you are holding, because at this point to me, you're holding Max Crosby hostage. That's what you're doing. And God forbid this man go out there and get hurt in one of these meaningless ass games for the Raiders at some point in time this season. And then he hurt his career by getting an injury that could affect it long term. Like, that's going to really piss me off. That's why I'm tired of seeing him have to line up for the fucking Raiders every week. I really wish it was something that could get players like him. That's why people always, these older dudes always bitch and moan about the NBA and old players can do whatever they want to. Because players got tired of wasting their careers. They work hard to get their bodies to where they need to be to compete. For an organization to go out there and constantly get them throw out millions of his, the salary cap, we can't afford it, and to come up short constantly. And some teams don't even try to put winning things around players. When players finally could take it to their own hands, I'm going to put myself in a winning situation. That to me helped the NBA. I wish players could do that in the NFL. I don't have a problem with Devontae Adams speaking out the way he have because neither. Now Devontae put himself in that situation. Max Crosby did not. He was drafted there and he should not be forced to stay on a fucking team that is wasting his prime. He ain't, like I said again, he ain't even in his prime yet, which is why I am holding out hope. I'm holding over a hero to the end of the night. He's gotta be. But I'm holding out hope that the Raiders come to their senses and trade this man because he should not be playing for this funky ass organization, bro. Washington was in New York, and of course Washington lost this game 7-14 to Ravens legend Tyrod Taylor because of course Daniel Jones is still not playing in this game. Washington fans are very interesting fans to me because they blame Eric Bieniemy for this game. And I understand when I watch this game the different type of issues you might have on the offense. Like a lot of the offense in the NFL, it's a lot of inconsistency, not knowing what you want to do, calling the wrong play. But it's very odd to me that in the first year of Eric Bieniemy trying to get used to, the new players he got and all this, with all the success he done had in the past, it's very odd to me that that's the first person you choose to blame. And not the motherfucker that's done been the head coach for the last couple seasons, walking around as the defensive guy that's got your defense still out there being an average defense at best on most weeks. A lot of talent on the defense. Couldn't tell, though, because they don't put up gaudy numbers like the Cowboys, like the 49ers, like some of the other defenses, the Eagles of the past. But you got a defensive-minded head coach. It's very funny to me that the dude that's proven himself to be a great offensive coordinator is the one that's on the hot seat with fans, but not the dude that's only still there because he had a cancer diagnosis. It's very funny to me that it's no expectation for Ron, but it's expectation for Bieniemy. This is why I'm saying when I say Washington got to have the group of the stupidest fucking fans I have ever met. In the beginning, in the offseason, you're bitching about bringing back a racist name. Now you're bitching about things that don't matter. Between you and Chicago, I don't know which one is stupider. Because Chicago, I saw a tweet where a dude was like, this quarterback is not better than Justin Fields. So if you start talking about, bro, this is why your team sucks. Over the last, year and a half, you got one win in 20-something games with Justin Fields. This dude just got you a win in his second start, first full start. You worried about the wrong thing. How about you worried about catching some wins? Because clearly, good or bad, your team won and played better under this quarterback than they did Justin Fields. So how about instead you baiting a race riot with a he said, she said of people who don't exist? How about you just worry and be happy that your team got a win this week and stop worrying about shit that don't actually fucking matter? This is what I'm saying. Some teams got fan bases that lose so much, they fans start talking about a bunch of BS that nobody cares about and has nothing to do with the outcome of a game. But I digress. Buffalo, what's going on? I spoke you up, bro. You lose 25-29 in New England. I said this should get right game, and you got me out here looking stupid. This remind me of them days when I'm at my cousin's house, bro. We ordering Papa John's back when they was good and before John Schneider let the world know he was a racist. A racist. Strayed all the way away from the path of God. He won't see them gates. He won't. But the pizza was very good back then when he was an undercover racist. I'm not going to stump with you. However, that is not why I am here. The reason I bring that up, because it reminds me of, playing NBA Street Jam or whatever the fuck it was called. It's not Street Jam. I think it was just NBA Street. Volume 1 or 2, the one with Julius Erving on it, the tall motherfucker with the afro. Dr. J. It reminds me of getting handled in that, on a Saturdays, late Friday nights, getting on that, eating pizza, and getting my ass whooped at that. That's how I felt when I was thinking about Buffalo winning this weekend. Like, man, it's going to be one of them smooth weekends where they just go in there, eat good. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give them a clean little ass whooping. And that's not what happened. My boy McCorkle Jones, bro, what is up with you, boy? That last drive of the game, my boy said, fuck a tie. I'm finna beat you bastards. And I respect it. I respect it. I do. And what it showed me, once again, was if McCorkle was able to play for a coordinator that was invested in his growth, a coach that was invested in his growth and not ego driven by what they did in the past, he'd be a lot better than what he is now. The dude is essentially being asked to develop on his own and figure out ways to develop on his own. Because we don't want a certain way here, and you just gonna have to adjust. Nobody else would be getting away with this shit if it wasn't Bill Belichick. I just want to throw that out there every time I talk about him. And for Buffalo, I don't know, man. The noise of they just not as good a team without Dayball. Yeah, I'm starting to really feel that. I am really starting to feel that. But I'm not going to go in on Buffalo yet. I need to actually see them again next week. And then next week, I'll cover on this week what some Buffalo haters probably would have wanted me to cover this week. So don't worry. Much like I told you, if you hate the Ravens and want me to go in, just wait. I need to see something. That's the same thing for Buffalo. I need to see something. However, I do want people to remember, Buffalo has lost two huge pieces on defense. Tre'Davious White and one of the best defensive players in football, all-pro, Matt motherfucking Milano. Okay? I cannot understate the loss of all-pro motherfucking Matt Milano enough. Okay? That is a huge loss. I cannot understate that. When you lose all-pro Matt Milano, motherfucker, you just lost a hell of a fucking player. So I cannot emphasize that enough. But if, like I said, just let me see this next game by Buffalo. Because I need to see something. It's something that I saw when I was watching. I need to see something. I need to see him again. I need them to play again. And what I got to say about him is not going to be based off of the outcome. But the outcome could definitely persuade in some ways what I'm going to say. But I need to see something from Buffalo. Because I'm seeing something. And I don't know if what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing or if what I'm seeing is just something that they just happen to be doing the last couple. I need to see something. Cleveland, like we talked about earlier, they was in Indy. They ended up winning 39-38. Now, they did play with a backup, and they also played against a backup. So that's a lot of points for two backups. Arizona was in Seattle. They lose 10-20. Obviously, they had an early lead in this game because Arizona liked to play hard early, and then they remember in the second half of games, late in games, we're trying to get that first pick in the draft. Pittsburgh was in L.A. They win 24-17. L.A. is pissing me off. I'm talking about the Rams. What's going on, buddy? What's going on? I'm not understanding. I am understanding. The defense is just not that good. If I'm Baltimore, I don't know that I don't try everything in my power to try to go trade for Aaron Donald. I'm being dead ass serious. I love the addition of Kyle Van Noy. I told y'all what Jadeveon Clowney was going to be for the Ravens. I've been telling y'all we needed to sign him for 3 years. I haven't took a victory lap on that yet because I have been saying it for 3 years. So it was actually more irritating when he came. He playing great. Stuff like this irritate me because, and I'm chewing on this candy, bro. I don't know why I put this shit in my mouth while I was recording, bro. That was so ignorant. But shit like this irritate me because I have been telling y'all for 3 years basically now that Jadeveon Clowney is somebody the Ravens should try to go get. They never went and got him. And it ain't just because I watch the Ravens. It's because I watch football. So I understood what I was seeing when I watched Jadeveon and said to myself, man, he might be pretty great with the Ravens. Nonetheless, the Rams defense, man. And I don't know the Rams draft pick situation right now. I need to look that up. But as much as they do on offense, man, the turnovers, the not being able to finish off drives with touchdowns. And that hurts when you have a defense that you know is not going to go out there and do what the Rams defenses have done in past years. Most people couldn't even tell you one player on that Rams defense not named Aaron Donald. And it's really a shame when you look at this is really the price you pay, I guess, for that Super Bowl because they don't have none of those safeties that they used to have. You don't have a cornerback now. You don't have the linebackers. You do still have the earners, but a lot of the talent, and really the craziest part is a lot of the young talent they had is no longer on this team. So I understand that the Rams don't want to go out there and just lose. You play in an expensive stadium. You play in LA. You have Cooper Kupp. You have Aaron Donald. You have Sean McVay. But, man, if it ain't a trade out there, and I don't think it's a trade out there that's going to fix your defense, offense, and all the other stuff, maybe you should just focus on the big-time defensive swings. But, man, if Aaron Donald don't retire, I could see him getting traded in the next couple years to try to start rebuilding this Rams team up. Because how long is Aaron Donald about to be satisfied with playing for a team that's not making the playoffs? How long is the Rams going to be satisfied paying a player when they know they're not going to win with him? Because they now is too bad of a team all around to where his impact can no longer affect this team. That's how bad we are. We're a player who on a year-to-year basis, his impact made us a better team. We are now so depleted of talent. Not even his impact is saving us. So they might end up in the same position as the Raiders. The Raiders been in that position for like 3 years. They just refuse to acknowledge it. The Chargers. Oh, we already talked about the Chargers losing to Kansas City. 17-31 was the score. Green Bay. They lose 17-19. And this is why I'm always hesitant when I'm picking these Green Bay games now. And it's time for me to just straight up be honest with you. Matt LaFleur is having a rough year right now. People can make all the excuses in the world about, oh, he don't have Aaron Jones. Oh, Aaron Jones not healthy. Oh, they not playing Aaron Jones enough. Jordan Love in this offense looks terrible in the first quarter of games. really in the first half, but specifically in that first quarter. They don't look like they ever know what the fuck is going on. And that's very strange to me that a dude who done been so great in the past at scheming up things cannot seem to scheme up the beginning of a game for Jordan Love in this offense and Matt LaFleur. It's very confusing to me right now. I'm not understanding why is it so hard for Matt LaFleur to put together a competent offense for Jordan Love right now. And maybe Jordan Love is just not that guy. But I don't know how he fall from grace that fast with the games he done had where he looked like he was gonna be a good quarterback. And I'm not telling you he looked like he was gonna be the next Pat Mahomes or nothing like that. What I am telling you is he had a lot of great signs that he was gonna be a better quarterback in this league. And now he don't look that way. And to me, it's got a mixture to do with his lack of development. But that, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of this got to do with this play call. I do not like most of the play calling that I'm seeing from Matt LaFleur. And maybe he just having an off year. I'm not finna get on here and tell you Matt LaFleur, a bad offensive play caller all of a sudden. Oh, it was all Aaron Rodgers. I didn't even do that shit to Bill. And Tom Brady won a Super Bowl the next year. Maybe this is just a weird couple weeks. Maybe it's a weird season for LaFleur. Maybe it's the transition. But the Packers look bad. And specifically in the first half, they look terrible. And they're going to have to figure that out. Denver, you know, at this point, every time they win, it's amazing. It really is. The Dolphins were in Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football, and this was not the shootout that I imagined it would be. The Dolphins end up losing this game 17-31. They got the ball ran down their throat. Now, the Dolphins did have a lot of injuries out in this game. Like, the Dolphins do have a lot of injuries. They had a lot of injuries, but I still feel like if they had to play better football on the offensive side of the ball and on the defense. The thing about the defense for the Dolphins is, I keep telling you, bro, it's not a great defense from what I've seen watching them play. They just keep happening to outscore that other team by so many points. They put that opposing team in a position where this defense can shine. But I don't think it's a great defense. And that showed again against the Eagles. The Eagles basically did whatever the fuck they wanted to late in that game, and they picked up all the big downs that they needed to pick up to keep drives alive and to basically end the game. Jalen Hurts had a pick six in this game and did not matter ultimately, to be honest with you. So the Dolphins, I don't feel any less about the Dolphins or the Eagles after this game. For the Eagles, I don't feel any different either because I done told you before, the Eagles can win all type of games. It was just a matter of I felt like maybe the Dolphins was going to go and get there and get this one. For a long time, this was a great game too, by the way. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me once again on another episode of Kicking with Saint. You could be anything in the world. Wait. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today for no reason. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And love the fuck out of those who love you. Yo, let me tell you something. It ain't easy to show love nowadays. So if you got somebody that's showing you consistent love on a regular basis, love the fuck out of them. Like, subscribe, share. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate you sharing this with your homies. I really do. Thank you so much. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.